Welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing, top 10 tips, tricks, recommendations, hacks, whatever you want to call them. Don't forget, like, subscribe. Thank you again for everybody for sharing. It's been huge. Channel's been growing very quickly. I do appreciate it greatly. With the holidays right around the corner, I figured I would take a little different approach to these top 10 items and focus on items, not so much processes, not so much cleanliness or hazmat. We've pretty much done that one, beat that horse dead. We're good over there for now. But things that I think can either save you money or help you in the long term with your brewing. So number one, buy supplies. Long-term need, not, hey, I need an ounce or I need a half a gram. Long-term need, like half a gram, water treatment. No, it is what it is. I used to do 1 gallons. I have this little one. I do a lot of 5 gallons now. I buy this one, I dump it in here. When this one's empty and this one's full, I order another one of these, which this one's brand new. I haven't even opened it yet. Same thing with my PPW. Same thing with all my different types of salts that I use for water treatment. I buy them in a pound if I can, or whatever the decent size. I don't need, like, I'm a professional brewer, but I'm not going to waste my time and buy a tiny little thing unless I'm going to need just fractions of a gram from that. I'm going to buy something decent size, save myself money. What I've found is a lot of times you'll buy an ounce of something, it's $5, $6. You buy a pound on it, it's $11 or $12. I mean, it's pretty simple math. Yeah, you're paying about twice as much for 1 pound, which is 16 ounces, versus 16 times whatever you paid for that 1 ounce. It's kind of insane. There's packaging, there's shipping, there's always costs involved. So you got to take that into consideration. Same thing when you're buying your grains. My base malt, boom, big old bag. Local, I'm good. If it's a malt that, it's a specialty malt, but I want to use a lot of it, 5, 10 pound bags, boom. If it's something I barely use or I use very little, I might buy 1, 2, 3 pounds, not gallons, but I might also use it as a filler for a shopping cart so that I can get to whatever the threshold is to get the free shipping. And then I'll break them down into little 1 pound containers that I can easily grab when I'm making a recipe. In the long term, you will save a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying buy a big old thing of PVW and you do 1 5-gallon batch a year, because you don't even need this size. You need something really small, but I'm just saying. Number 2, buy supplies and equipment when it's on sale. I'm always buying things year round, but if it's a big purchase or it's items I don't have to have, like I knew from the previous year in 2018 that wine and other items would be on sale under the 10 or even 20% off at some of these online retailers. So what I did is I waited and I grabbed 1 wine kit, and then I waited, and then they did another deal and I grabbed another wine kit. I hadn't brewed or done wine, I won't say brewed, but done wine. So I figured I'd try it. I got that. I got some specialty deals that were $25, $20. I even got beer kits that normally I wouldn't have bought, but they were cheaper than me buying the grains, technically speaking, if you added it up by the pound. And I modified the hell out of some of them. Some I didn't modify so much. I did some extracts just to see what it was like. And I've been having some fun kind of playing with that since I never started with extract and hadn't used it until early this year, 2020. And I did it for some other reasons, but buy it when it's on sale. I know Grainfather's been dropping price left and right. I think it's like $200 off or something. I have a suspicion they're going to come out with a new model, maybe actually offer 110, 220 versatility. I don't know. Maybe a 220 in America would be nice. And definitely they need the low density burner. So who knows? Maybe they're coming out with a new product. Maybe that's why they're discounting it. I don't know. So also be careful. Sometimes companies will drop price hard because they got a new product coming out and they want to flush out their inventory. Other times, if it's a site-wide and they're doing 10, 20% off, take advantage. Buy what you've been holding out on. Buy what you need. Buy things that you're going to need to stock up for the year, for brewing for the following year. I stocked up hardcore during December and November of last year for 2020. Had I known what 2020 had in sale for us, I probably would have stocked up a little more if I could have. So, but think about it that way, okay? Number 3, buy 2 of everything in glass. I know you're going, what? I love my glass little tube for using my hydrometer. I have 2 hydrometers. They're the Brewing America. Not the cheapest hydrometer out there, but the company's awesome. I had one and it wasn't reading properly and they instantly sent me another one. Eventually I saw they had a nice little sale on Amazon. I grabbed another one, and I had an older one that was from another company, kind of old, I smashed it. I had another one that was my first one. I dropped it. Glass thermometers. I've broken a few of these. I have my original one when I first started brewing, and we'll talk about that next. But anything glass that you're gonna be able to break easily, and I sadly only have one of these, and I hate the plastic ones you can't see through. But if you get a good deal on it, snag a spare. You'll be happy you did, because when you break the other one, you'll be like, hey, I'm set. Number 4, thermometer. Don't trust the thermometer you have. Get a thermometer that's accurate. And I'm telling you right now, you don't have to spend $100, $200 on a thermometer to have an accurate thermometer. But get a thermometer that's accurate. When I first started, I started using this little yellow thermometer. Came with a little kit I bought off of one of the websites. Then I started wondering, and I saw this cheap deal for another thermometer. There were about 10 degrees difference between these two. I was really confused. I had this little point and shoot. It matched the newer thermometer. So I had been brewing all my first few 1 gallons, 10 degrees and mashing in a 10 degrees difference because this thing was off. You want an accurate thermometer. And as far as thermometers go, I love to have a nice glass thermometer that I can set and watch. I love my point and shoot for when I'm checking my sparge water. It's awesome. I have a backup point and shoot if I need it. And then I have this meat thermometer that's an instant read. It is awesome. I have used it occasionally to check water and compare temperatures. That's the key. Check and compare temperatures. Make sure your readings are accurate, because you might think you've got everything dead on and you're using a thermometer that's way the hell off, and that's putting it politely. Number 5, spare hose / tubing, buy it in rolls. Not exactly what you need today. So if you need 18 feet today, don't buy 18 feet. If it comes in 36, 50, 100 foot roll, buy what you think you may eventually need. I've mentioned this in one of the previous tips, is after I've used a hose 2, 3, 4 times and it's starting to get funky in color, chuck it, throw it away. Don't even waste your time. It stains. If it's staining, there's something still in it, just chuck it. Hose is cheap. It's really not that expensive. As I said, and I have all kinds of different hoses, but I buy it in little bundles. When I get low on one, I'll buy a replacement, and I usually leave the labels up until just before I go to order another one, because that's how it reminds me of what I ordered last time. I don't have to go digging to figure out where it was. But hose is cheap. Order what you're going to need long term, not what you need today. Get some spare. Buy it by the spool. Number 6, spare parts like connectors. Don't buy, okay, I've got 4 kegs, I need 4 disconnects for the water or liquid, and I need 4 disconnects for the air. If they're selling them in pairs, fine, but you're gonna find you suddenly need another one, or one's not working right, and now you're down. If they're offering, 10, I've seen that recently where they have 5 of each, and you only need 4, get it, you have 1 spare of each. I have this blow off. I had a spare. I have another pipe around here somewhere that's my transfer tube you've seen, and I have 2 liquid disconnects on both ends. Those are spares. Every time I pull one off, I have fresh ones that are clean, and I put them on. I take the old ones and I just put them in a little Pyrex or a jar or a pot. I put them in something and I set them aside. I put them in the kitchen, and once I have like 3, 4 of them and some other little odds and ends in there, like blow-offs, things like that, I wash them all in one big thing. I'm not gonna sit and scrub one thing. I'm gonna scrub a lot of things. And actually, here you go, for spares. One's got a stain, but I've got lots of disconnects, or bubblers, disconnects. I've got lots of bubblers. I've had these things occasionally crack or get funky looking where it just something's not right. Throw it away, get another one. They're super, super cheap. And I have that with lots of things. Over here I've got keg disconnectors. I have spares. I have spare stainless steel ones, which I really like, and I've been going to those. But also, don't let them soak in your star sand. It'll change the pieces that aren't stainless steel another color. So, learn that the hard way. A little bonus tip in there, I guess. Buy spares. That way you'll have extras when you need it. And I'm not saying go crazy, but a spare is always good. Number 7, buy the right size carboy. Yeah, it's the same thing with when people buying 6.5 gallon anvils and trying to brew 5-6 gallon batches. Don't. Buy what you need for what you're going to do. All of my Carboys are at least 6 gallons, some are 6.5. Get something so you've got that extra head space for that 5 gallon. Don't try sticking a 5 gallon brew in a 5 gallon Carboy or a 6 gallon batch in a 6 gallon Carboy or 6.5 gallon Carboy. It's gonna bubble over and you're gonna lose a lot of beer. Number 8, if you're gonna use glass Carboys, which I love these things, although yes, they are a little pain to clean sometimes. Buy a handle. Trust me on this one, just buy the handles. And speaking of deals, there's a lot of websites that will offer deals on these, and it's a nice cart filler, especially if they're one of the companies who does the free shipping, which isn't free. Remember, it's in the price of the product. If they're offering a deal, and these are like $3.50 a pop, plus or minus, chuck a few in the cart if you need them. But you need one for every one. Every now and then I will take them off, clean them really good, but if I have any grime, it's gonna be right up in here because I do not clean that regularly like I probably need to, but still, Carboy handles, number 8. And be careful. Don't, yank the hell out of it. I have heard of them breaking, but like one guy I was reading in a forum, it's the first one that ever broke on him in over 20 years. I've got quite a few more years to go, which is good. But it helps. It's a lot easier than doing this. Number 9. Number 9 is one of my favorite. And this doesn't apply to everybody. But if you have an anvil, you have a mash and boil, you have a grain father, you have anything where it's electric, it's got that heating element on the bottom like that, and it can cause a little bit of scorching, a brew paddle. And I'll leave links for a lot of this stuff down below. This one I got off Etsy. I haven't seen the seller, but there's a lot of other ones out there from brew companies you're familiar with that are very affordable compared to what I probably paid for this one with the custom hop cuts in it, which were pretty cool. But there's a couple details to this. One, it's wood. It's tall enough to go down and still have some sticking out, so I don't have to worry about burning myself. The bottom is flat. You want the bottom flat so you can rub. If it's curved, you're not gonna get a good rub across that bottom to make sure there's nothing sticking. And you want holes in it to allow flow. So when you're stirring things up, it just does a great job and you're not just pushing things around and creating whirlpools. It will create one if you want, but flat bottom. And the reason you want wood, plastic is nice, but I've yet to see a good plastic one that's long enough that, this thing's got a flat bottom, but it's kind of wearing it. It's getting rough over the years. Metal will scratch the hell out of the bottom of your brew system. You want wood. Smooth, it'll rub, and it'll get any kind of organics that are stuck down there. Won't get it all, but it'll get what you need to get off the bottom. Love my brew paddle. One of my favorite accessories, should we say. Number 10, digital scales. Buy 2 digital scales if you're doing water treatment or if you're doing 1 gallon batches and you're trying to weigh hops. Whether you're doing grams or ounces, if you're doing something small, you need something like this. Otherwise, if you're doing your water treatment, you definitely need it. This is my latest one, which is a gram scale, and I use a little containers to put on top of it. Does a great job. My favorite was this thing, which I've had forever, and it looks like it's been coated in salt treatments. But I dropped it a few times. It's getting a little rough, and when I went to order a new one, the price was a little higher than what I thought it should have been compared to what it had been previously, so I went with a different brand. You raise price on me, I move on. Same thing, scale. This scale does grams, I got pounds, I've got ounces and pounds, and milliliters. So, and it's a great little scale. I have a spare around here somewhere. It's an older one. It's a little picky on the weight. Every now and then it gets a little goofy. I have to take the batteries out, put them back in. This one's rock solid, and when this starts getting finicky, of course, I'll get another one. And my wife has a scale that works really good for weighing packages and shipping. I can use that too. I can do my hops on here for a 5 gallon batch. I can do all my grains on here, but I do all my brewing salts on here. And if I was doing 1 gallon batches, I'd be doing my hops on here too, just because you're not doing that many. So just some equipment that you need to consider, equipment that you probably either already have or maybe you don't, or you're buying so conservatively you're always looking for that spare part that you don't have that you need, or you're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul because you don't have enough equipment. take advantage of the holidays. Save yourself some money. Don't throw your money out. You know, increase your buying power, basically. Thank you again for joining us here at Bitter Reality Brewing. Don't forget, like, subscribe. Thank you again for sharing. Keep sharing. I definitely appreciate that massively. Thank you again, and hopefully you have a great holiday.